Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. If you're not already, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, The Pretty Passenger, as well as my second channel called It's Ashley. I want to thank you guys for tuning in for another one, and to all my new subscribers, welcome aboard. Welcome to our little family on YouTube. So anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and get into this video because you guys know I will ramble forever, but here are some things that annoy flight attendants. I haven't done one of these in a minute, and I thought I would bring it back, but kind of make it a more realistic, down-to-earth approach instead of just things that get on our nerves as flight attendants. These are things that you will have to deal with once you come on the line, once you become a cabin crew member in any airline. I feel like we all deal with these day to day. So I just wrote down a few off the top of my head that just absolutely drive me insane. Exploding coffee bags. I cannot for the life of me understand how this works, and I don't know with every airline exactly what their coffee bags look like, but ours are kind of like oversized. The pouch will be like about like this, you know, just like a regular coffee bag, and the little tray that it goes in is like a little bit smaller, so you kind of have to fold the flap underneath to make it fit in there properly. Well, sometimes you'll put it in there and you're like, oh, everything's good, you'll set it to brew, and then you'll go to pour your coffee and all these little grounds are at the top. It's got like something spewing out of the side of it. It's making this hissing noise, and you're just like, ugh, it takes forever to clean it up as well. And you have to do it because once you have to go to brew your second pot, there's no way for you to brew without getting more grounds in it unless you've cleaned it out the first time. So then you have to go fill it up with hot water, dump it out in the bathroom because you don't want to dump it out in the regular sink because then that one will get stopped up. It's just this whole process if one coffee bag explodes, and it's so annoying. Another thing is first time flyer questions. A lot of people will expect you to know everything that there is to know about the world around you, the airplane, your job, things going on in the news, just everything. They think you know it all on this plane. And so people will ask you things that I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, I've had people ask me, why am I sitting in this seat? Like, how am I here? And in my head, I'm always like, I didn't purchase the ticket. I didn't, you know, assign your seat at the gate, or if you got or seat assigned at the gate, that was between you and the agent. I don't know why you're sitting in the seat. I don't know why. You know, you're here now, you're on the plane, we're all gonna get there at the same time. So I'm always just like, some questions that I could ask. I'm so confused. And then of course the typical, what river are we flying over, what state are we flying over? One thing that has helped with this though is the planes that I work on that have the screens in the seat back. You can go in and look at the map and see specifically where we're flying over, how fast we're flying, how long we've been flying, how much time we have left in the plane. So that saves me. Anytime I have those kind of planes, I'm always grateful because I'm like, hold on just a second. Click on their own screen. There you are. You can watch it the whole rest of the 3-hour flight if you want to, but don't ask me any more questions. Let's see. Another thing is when the PA doesn't work properly. This is a small thing that you don't really think it's gonna be a big deal until it stops functioning. I've had flights where our little, like, what do we even call that? We just call it the dings. Like, the double dings don't work, so we don't know exactly when to start making the announcements for once we get to 10,000 feet, or if the seatbelt sign is turned on or not. Like, the actual chime isn't working. And it's so amazing once you've done this for a few months, where just subconsciously you can be half asleep, you can be in the aisles, in a deep conversation, whatever, and you will hear certain chimes and certain sounds that the aircraft makes, and you'll just automatically know and just go into like this routine. Like, anytime we're about to do all call, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, how I'm trying to get the pre-departure drinks ready for first class, I hear all call, I'm automatically boop, going to my door, just going through it just becomes such a habit and so routine, and you just become so accustomed to it. But yeah, the aircraft makes all kinds of sounds and all kinds of like noises, and even the weird noises. We kind of know like what noises are strange but are still pretty normal, especially if you're in the tail cone. Oh my goodness. But yeah, planes make all kinds of crazy noises. Mechanicals, I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but having things go wrong with the plane, it's frustrating on a different level for a flight attendant, just because people expect us to, I don't know, know how to fix it to a certain extent, but then it's like things go wrong and there's no way that we can fix it. You know, if something is wrong with the indicators in the cockpit, well, as a flight attendant, what do you really want me to do? You know, like I'm not trained to fix that. There are mechanics for that purpose. They are heavily trained on the specific aircraft. But people will look at us like, so what's wrong? Like, why wasn't the plane fixed when we got here? And I don't know what the process is behind that, because there are times where it's been hours and hours and we get to the plane only to find out something's wrong, and we're like, this plane has been sitting here, like why didn't we come to a plane that was fixed? But I'm sure there's a lot more that goes into it behind the scenes that I don't know about. But yeah, mechanicals are always really frustrating for everyone. Eating on the go. This is something that I believe I've discussed it in another video, but not in depth. But literally, whenever I started working this job, I would think, oh my gosh, you know, I'm just like rushing myself, like not giving myself enough time, or like overthinking it. But no, this happens. You literally will be eating all over the place, like in the terminal, in the lounge, on the plane, in between flights, like running to the gate. Like I cannot get to the gate and sign in until I've gotten food, or I will be hangry for the rest of the trip. Like you're just eating on the go constantly, and it does affect you. And sometimes it kind of is annoying just to not be able to like sit and eat a hot meal and have to sit in your hotel, you know, and after a really long flight, and just be eating in your room. Like there's no like come to the dinner. And I think that's why it kind of affects me more, is because I'm so used to like coming home, sitting at the table, no phones, having a dinner, sitting down, you know, talking, that type of thing. But with this job, it's just so on the go, and you're so all over the place, and there's so much to do. You don't get that luxury. So be prepared to eat on the go all the time, literally all the time. Something else that I wrote down, and this is the last thing I'll discuss, and it's being stared at all day. Literally all day. And I think this is something that people don't necessarily think about whenever you start this job. And there are shy flight attendants. When I first started flying, I was considerably more like shy than I am now. And I'm not a shy person, but it just takes me a while to warm up to people. But the mentality that I've had to get, and the mentality that you have to have as a flight attendant, is essentially you are up in front of tons of people every single day, talking to them, answering their questions, doing the safety demo, walking up and down the aisles, getting things out of the overhead bins, boarding, just all day, every day on this job. And it might be on a smaller scale if you're on a regional jet, or a larger scale if you're on a wide body, but you're in front of so many people all day, every day. And it kind of makes you numb to it, if I'm being perfectly honest. Just like people's reactions, and like the way that they look at you. Like now I'm so used to it, and I don't know how to explain it without it seeming like, I don't even know the word for it, but like people staring at me, it doesn't bother me anymore. You just kind of become numb to it. I've had people, this is kind of creepy, but I've had people take pictures of me like attempt to do it to the way that I don't know they are, but I'm like, come on, like I'm the Snapchat queen, I know what you're doing. And so usually I'll confront them, but like in a jokingly way, just so it's like, I know what you're doing, why are you doing that? And so the few times that I've like confronted people, they're like, oh, you look like a friend of mine, you know, this girl I went to school with, you look so familiar, similar to her. And I'm kind of like, so you're gonna take a picture of me and send it to them? Like, what? And then sometimes I've had people ask me, can I take a picture of you? And I'm like, why? They're like, oh, you know, I'm just on vacation, blah blah blah. So sometimes I will take selfies with people if they ask. Like when I'm doing the demo, people will like record it, and like sometimes I know it's just for Snapchat, it's not a big deal, but sometimes I'll ask like, hey, can you put your phone away and just like pay attention to the demo, please? But yeah, people are just, I don't know, they do all kinds of strange things on planes. But yeah, people will literally like stare at you. And so now, before I go out there, I'm always like, make sure nothing's in my nose, my toilet tissue paper is stuck to my heels, like my uniform looks presentable, my phone's okay, it's not going off or something. Just make sure that I look like decent. So if there is a picture of me floating around out there, I look cute. But yeah, that pretty much sums up this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'm actually kind of rushing through this video. I hope it didn't come across that way too much, but I'm about to go to Dallas to visit my family, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.